AAA
Well, then-
games are being announced early for fear of being cancelled, developer says.
AAA gaming is dying.
So have you ever noticed that some of the largest AAA games on the market are announced earlier than before? I think everyone has. How is it always feels that when a big game is revealed, it's still 5 or 6 or 7 years off at least? It's something that many wonder, and why now one prominent developer is giving an insight as to why the reason could be. Mark Dara, who is known for the creator of the Dragon Age series and is currently working as a consultant on the new Dragon Age Veilguard, has also... Yeah, he also has his own YouTube channel where he recently addressed the topic on why AAA games take so long to release. While the nearly 25-minute video is worth a full watch from the insight, one thing he said that really stood out has to do with the potential fear within the studios marketing their games. There might be reasons why it's important for the studio or publisher to have that game in the public conscious. It might be because the publisher's slate is a little weak and they want the public to remember that it still has important games in its back pocket. It might be because the studio wants the game announced because they're worried the publisher might kill it otherwise. He added that it's not usually the best strategy for building up attention and a hype for the game. It never is, because people just look at shit this day and go, oh, I'll see you in fucking 6 years now. One thing I'll add to this is I think shareholders as well, it's to keep shareholders happy to go, hey, look, we have something that's coming out eventually.
But surely you can just tell them without publicly fucking announcing it though, right? Surely. Be like, yo, listen, we're not going to publicly say this, but just for the shareholders that we do have.
Well, the shareholders, if it's a public company and you announce it to the shareholders, you're announcing it to the public, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So aside from possible fear, Adara says that just because the studio is working on a game, that doesn't mean its full effort or focus is on the game when it's announced. That is painfully obvious in today's age. Studios can be kind of misleading on this front because they'll say things like, we've started work on Elder Scrolls 6, or there you go. Or they might even have a trailer of the game, even though the current size of the team is under 10 people. So they're giving the impression that there's parallel development, that the team is working on the game, when in fact it's few people having a few meetings and not much is being done. There's also the likelihood that a game that's 10 or so years apart, no work is likely being done on that game in the first few years. On top of the fear, other factors that go into things like the size of the game, the team working on it, and its focus on more intricate features and more. So then there's the link to it.
It's pretty obvious that this is the shit that they're doing. The weird thing is, like, AAA shouldn't have to have that worry, you know? The budgets are so big, and a lot of these games are part of franchises. There's no reason why they should be canceled.
What I find interesting about it is how he feels they need people to know that something's coming along, right? But, I mean, I'm going to go with the example of GTA 6. Everyone fucking knew there would inevitably be a GTA 6. And look how long they sat on that for. And then just dropped the teaser trailer, sizzle reel, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and gave us a rough estimate of when the game was going to come out. At no stage between GTA 5 and the official announcement of GTA 6, was GTA's popularity going down. It was always in the top 10 sales. You know, GTA is still an extremely, probably the most popular gaming franchise of all fucking time, right? Yeah. So I think his logic, and well, it's not his logic, he's just speaking on how the industry feels about this stuff. I think the logic's pretty fucking flawed, okay?
100%.
A simple thing of going, hey, there will be a GTA 6, we'll tell you more when we can. You know, that's all you gotta do.
That's the thing. Rockstar did end up doing that. They said, hey, by the way, game's obviously coming out. We're obviously working on it. We will have something to show you eventually. Until then, just know there will be a GTA 6, right? Same thing Nintendo said now with the Switch 2. It's like, hey guys, we are doing this, of course. We're making another console. We don't have anything ready for you yet, but just know, eventually we will tell you that something's coming out. I think that's a good way of going about things, because you got to announce that shit to your stockholders. And the average consumer, I think, is a little bit, I wouldn't say more intelligent than in years past, but it's way easier to get this info than before. Every traditional media website is reporting on like shareholders' earnings and shit. So we already know what's happening in those meetings. So it's better to just come out and just say, hey, we're working on this. Just give us a little bit of time, and then be like, here we go. I think Rockstar has actually done a really good job for GTA 6 so far, without giving too much away, not giving enough. And it's to the point now where there's still hype for the game, but the hype is a little bit simmered, and it's not like a pot of water boiling over. It's like, all right, it's bubbling, but it's a steady level that's manageable.
I guess the other one, on the flip side of that, you have Bethesda dropping the next Elder Scrolls trailer where it just shows a mountain or whatever, and you go, we haven't heard shit since.
Yeah, don't do it before you start development on the actual fucking game, though.
It's not even a mountain from the fucking game. It's just some random as fuck mountain.
Yeah.
Like, what the...
They didn't even... Dude, I guarantee you they probably were just like, we should start working on another Elder Scrolls. Okay. Do we have like a region we're gonna set it in? I guess.
Yeah.
All right, time for a trailer then. Like, I don't even think they had a story. Like, this game will not. It's been 6 years since they dropped that. I don't think we're getting the game for another 5. I think the game is like 9 years away from that trailer.
Well, I think they're only just starting to get to it now because you got your Starfield DLC. So this is probably the next one on the list.
Yeah, I would
so
assume.
Could you imagine, right, as we start to, get to the stage of, all right, they're definitely working on Elder Scrolls 6. If that's when they turn around and drop the Fallout 5 trailer, you'd be sitting going, now we're just doing the fucking same thing again.
Dude, what happens if they push it back? What if they see that the Fallout show's a hit and they're like, well, let's put out another Fallout game? And they push back Elder Scrolls. So then we could be seeing it being another 5 years out from what I said. This is the problem with announcing too early. You don't give yourself enough wiggle room. Because, I'm sorry, like, it's not even really fair to Bethesda. It's their own making, but it's not fair to, like, whatever happens down the road. Because, again, you could start cranking out a Fallout game probably pretty quickly. And the show's still going to be on the air. People are still going to be watching it, hopefully for their sake, right? You can put out a game and it ends up being really popular. You can put out remasters and put effort into making those remasters as good as possible. And those would sell really well, like 3 in New Vegas. But now you're locked into having to do this Elder Scrolls game and having to get it done really quickly.
And it also kills the hype. Okay, think about every time. They didn't even announce it. And every time a thing happened, it was like, show us some GTA 6 trailer. Show us the GTA 6 trailer, right? Now you've talked about it and all you've shown is some gravel practically in a fucking little mountain. Now every time there's a Bethesda thing, it's going to be show us Elder Scrolls, and your fans are now just going to get fucking pissed off. And it's like, oh, well, actually, we're still 5 years away. So fans are going to get pissed off because, do you remember when they showed Final Fantasy VII, like fucking 10 billion years
Oh,
ago?
yeah, the remake,
Like,
where it showed him walking with his sword.
Yeah, people were so fucking hyped, and then 2 years later, people were fucking sending them death threats practically. Yeah, like what the fuck? I thought. Well, I feel like when you do a trailer, it should be like how they did GTA 6, either a year or 2 away. You know what I mean? Like especially your first trailer, the game needs to be only a year or 2 years away from.
Whoa! Do you know who actually did it right? And I stated many times I don't really like the game, but do you know who actually did it right? Bethesda with Fallout 4. You got up on stage and he was like, "Oh, we've been working on it for years," and then it was like comes out in like 4 months or however long it was.
Yeah.
Of all fucking people.
Could they not tell how much better it was and more hyped it was when you just announced it like that than fucking, oh yeah, so in like 11 years time you might get a game